What's up, y'all? It is Coach Royal. We here to talk juvenile justice and re-entry. Listen, I am only talking about this topic because I feel like my voice is important in this space because I was that child, that youth, that teenager that got thrown away, tossed out, and was told I was just a lost teen. So everybody threw their hands up. They didn't know what else to do with me. So I wanted to interject in this conversation because there's some gaps in the way that we mentor, parent, teach, and coach. And I wanted to speak on some of those because as I was doing my rediscovery work for myself and taking extreme ownership for every decision that I made as a teen, I realized that some of the decisions that I made was made off of false information or incomplete information. So I was either misinformed or uninformed, and that's a difficult place for a young person to be. Sometimes as adults, we'll say things to kids and don't realize that it's a child. So they're thinking of it from a child's perspective. You may say a word to a child and they say, okay, and they don't necessarily know exactly what you mean. And they may not even ask what you mean because for some reason, somehow in their past, asking questions did not turn out well. Sometimes they was called stupid for asking questions. Sometimes they was told, "Go ahead, that's silly. I don't have time for that." So kids learn to stop asking questions quick. I know because I was that kid that stopped asking questions quick, and I did the one thing that my favorite book asked me not to do, and that was lean on my own understanding. I dropped out of high school at the lean on my own understanding. I stopped playing sports because I leaned on my own understanding. I ended up in relationships and called it love because I was leaning on my own understanding. And I did not understand all of the options, all of the risks, and all of the consequences. So I am big on, as a coach and a mentor, because I'm not perfect. I definitely coached and mentored young adults and did it from a space of trauma, of hurt, and some of that stuff projected onto those guys. And I wanted to come back and tell them all sorry and tell them, listen, let me redo it. I'm sorry. I I used the model that was passed down to me. Do as I say, not as I do, thinking that, my way of connecting was being hip, being cool, and speaking their language when it takes more than that. Because sometimes kids can see through that and they can tell that you're not really in it, concerned about what they want their outcome to be. Sometimes we get into a place of control and we try to decide what we want for them without first understanding what they want for themselves. And the thing is, sometimes they don't know what they want for themselves. So how do you guide a person to a place that they don't know where they're going? And that's the hardest part for some of these mentors. And they'll give up on a kid that says, I don't really know, I'm a little unsure. So how do we break through the stage of resistance, right? Because change, when it comes to change, there are, well, it's all kind of models. Some models say it's 3 steps, some models say 5, some models say it's 7 steps to change. All I know is the first step to change is resistance. And if you're struggling breaking through the resistance stage with the youth, that's what I'm here for. I help you to engage. I help you to break through that resistance stage. And let me know in the comments, as a youth, do you feel like you were just a knucklehead, that you just didn't listen and you were being hard-headed, or do you feel like there were some gaps in the way and in the style of parenting? I know we don't want to blame our parents. We grow up with this whole idea of not wanting to blame our parents. I get it. You don't have to blame your parents to say that there were some areas that of communication that you feel like if people were to learn how to talk to you and speak your language and get through to you in a different way, that you may have been able to hear the information a little different. No, we don't have regrets. No, we can't go back, but we can reflect back. So y'all let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel. I know for myself, as I take extreme ownership, I also want to say, if you're a mentor, coach, parent, or a teacher, we like to celebrate the ones that were success stories, but we like to try to ignore and forget about the ones that were not. And I want to say that if they were in our care, if they were in your care, we have to take responsibility for the ones that succeeded and for the ones that we lost. And we can't just call them lost teens. We got to take accountability for the fact that we lost that team. And if you was to go back and you was to look at it, at the style that you were using with that team, you could actually evolve your coaching, mentoring, teaching and parenting style if you could see where there's some things that you may have been able to do better and to reach that youth. But keep planting seeds. Let God do the watering, and we all have no choice but to grow. So like, comment, share, whichever one, or bypass, never come back, whichever one suits you. I'm just looking for people that connect with this truth. But before you leave, if you connect with what's being said, I would like for you to comment and tell me, when you were a teen, do you feel like you were just a knucklehead and just didn't listen? Or do you feel like there were some missed opportunities between you and the authoritative figures that was in care of you at that time? Let's be honest. Extreme ownership isn't taking blame, passing blame. It's accepting that there were some things that, if done differently, we would have got a different outcome.
Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you.